What up guys, Steve from Team Purple Panda, and I'm actually making a third 6am video today for you guys because I posted 2 6am video previously, and within 2 days my inbox got flooded with questions and comments and whatnot. And a lot of those questions are really good, so I decided to make a video that talks about the deck a little bit more, the combos and whatnot, knowing there's going to be a big deck next format. I'm also going to talk about some changes made to the deck because I managed to talk to one of my friends in Japan and he plays 6am within OCG, and he really opened me up to some deck changes that I overlooked the first time I made the deck. And after these deck changes, I actually took the deck to regionals and played some friendlies with it, and I have like a 9-to-1 win ratio, so it's ridiculous. So let's go ahead and go right into it. First big deck change, 1 Grandmaster instead of 3. I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later. Just 1. I know people's like, what the hell 1? Yeah, just 1. So 3 Kizan, so same thing. Haven't changed there. 1 hand, 1 spirit. It's my personal attack, especially the spirit. 3 Kageki, no changes there. No changes here. So 3 Smoke Signal. Rhoda, 2 Book of Moon. 3 Gateway. No changes here, definitely. And no changes here. 3 United. 1 Ghost Arc, because I overlook how important Giant Trinade is in this deck, and since I threw in a Ghost Arc, it's been like it's never a dead draw, and Trinade is just game winning. It's ridiculous how game winning this is. It's like another Inferni deck. So therefore, Trinade is wonderful. 1 MST, staple, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, no changes there. 3 Double Edge, super broken card, and if you learn to play this card well, like I said the first time, you will definitely win games. Staple, Trapstun, this is another new addition to the deck, and because this deck is so Inferni-like, it benefits greatly from Trinade and Trapstun. So definitely 1 Trapstun. Only 1 Bombless. I took out the other Bombless because this deck, unlike the old one, is not that dependent on stun cards. So 1 Bombless is more than adequate. I'll talk more about this later. But more importantly, the Solemn Warning. Yeah, I actually threw in 2 Solemn Warning, and these are very crucial to the deck. And I lost a few games because I was not running these. After I talked to my friend, he told me that like every 6M deck in Japan ran at least like 2 to 3 of these, and there's a very good reason why, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later, most definitely. Trapdoor Shoot, another MVP of the deck. It just wins games, especially in this deck. This is here the same reason why it was here in the Inferni deck. So it's really good. 1 of these. And the reason why only 1 is because it's really good, but you do need to control 6 to use it. So what that means is like it's like Saber Hole, where it's really good down on paper, but yeah. Legend of Xian, I'm going really fast because like I'm running out of time already. But 3 of these, most definitely, it's like your barrier monster 2-in-1, so it's really good. All right, so let's go right into the strategy. What up YouTube? So this is part 2 of the video, and I'm going to talk about the strength, the weakness, and the overall feel of the deck. So let's go right into it. So let's assume that this is my opponent's field and he starts first. So he has 2 set back rows and a generic beater monster. And let's look at the traditional 6M deck and like how the deck feels and whatnot. In the traditional sense, let's say I start with like, a 6M, a Grandmaster, United, and Gateway. It's pretty good opening hand, and normally the only thing that is visible to do is to drop my United, drop my Gateway, play Yaichi, play Grandmaster, break my United, and hopefully draw to one of these stun cards to protect Yaichi, and break my Gateway and use it as like a toolbox kind of deal to get my 6Ms out and 6Ms in my hand so I can further abuse Gateway, etc, etc, etc. The advantage to have in this deck is to use your stun cards to protect your 6 Samurai, so every single turn they can activate the effect and gain advantage over your opponent that way. And so that's that. And in this sense, Grandmaster is extremely important because not only he's the only 121 beat stick, he is the only one that like you can special summon to activate all other 6 monsters. So yeah, it's really crucial. It allows you to make bigger pushes, and it's the only card that allows you to do that in this deck. So again, Grandmaster is very important in the traditional 6 sense. And yeah. the thing I want to say about this is that if you notice, in order to gain advantage over my opponent, it forces me to immediately play this card, immediately play this card, drop this and drop this in order to gain that upper hand. If not, then I will waste my summon, and this will sit in my hand, and I don't even know what the next exam is going to hit to my hand and whatnot. So because of that, it's very dependent on the stun cards for protection, and it's also very dependent on the luck of the draw on the United and whatnot. So again, it's not a bad deck, but the deck does have severe limitations, being that you have to invest heavily into the field in order to gain advantage, and that's one thing that I found that is really bugging me when I first played Six Samurai, and that's when I kind of put away the deck for a while, especially when Synchros come out. So let's look at the new Six Samurai. New Six Samurai is completely different, even though they do have like gateways and whatnot, but you can't think of this deck like you think of the traditional one. It's like a complete different mindset. Rather than trying to get out, your United, your gateway immediately to gain as much advantage of your hand, you actually have a much more access to your monster because of the amount of searches you can do with a smoke screen and whatnot. So essentially what you want to do is you want to get a Kageki and a Kagemusha to your hand as soon as you can. You want to normal summon, special summon, and create a Shien as soon as you can early game. This not only locks down your opponent, but it acts as like a wall of defense for your back row. So a very cool play that I do is just game one, if he goes first, so he sets to summon the monster. Rather than dropping my United and dropping my gateway and risk that being a fairy win and lose like heavily, I'll actually just normal this, special this, and create a Shien, and I'll set a double-edged sword technique, and that will allow me to like save me a turn. Turn two, I will then drop my gateway, drop my United, activate double-edged sword technique, and if you have something to negate me, something to stop me, like a Book of Moon or a Bottomless, I'll go ahead and activate Shien's effect to negate his card, and have this go through, which gains massive advantage through these two cards. And as you can see, by doing it that way, this new 6-Sam build allows me to have like maximum protection for my gateway and United, so it's much less risky than the old one. And also, not to mention, as the old one, if my opponent has like a beater, say this is 24, it's not that big, say they put out like a 19 beater, there's not much I could do to defend against that because they have very low defense. But in the new 6-Sam, it actually permits me to stall. I have 3 Kagemusha and 3 Kageki. Kagemusha being like 18 defense, Kageki being 2000 defense. Kageki being 2000 and Kagemusha being 18. So it's high defense card that allow me to stall for a turn or two. So if I have nothing in my hand, nothing good, I actually just set this guy and wait until I draw a smoke screen on this, and then create one of these, and then invest more into the field. So that's that. Moving on to for United, instead of drawing to your stun cards, what you really want to do is draw into your smoke signals, your Rhoda, further United, and more importantly your double-edged sword technique, because this card combos well with United and combos well with Gateway to gain you more advantage. So essentially what happens is if you have one of these protecting your card, your back rows, and you have a Gateway out, if you flip double edge, not only you get to summon another Shien or whatever synchro you want, you also gain another card advantage. So it's essentially like a +3. So again, that's off one Gateway. If you have 2 Gateway out, it's pretty much GG already. So that's that. Now for Gateway, it's also a toolbox kind of deal, but rather a toolbox as in like a different effect, like Zanji destroys and Iro cuts like face downs. What Gateway allows you to do is 2 things. First, it allows you to search for your Kizan, and then opens up your OTK play. So once you wear down your opponent's hand with your Shien, what you want to do is try to get as much Kizan as your hand so you can spam summon him and push for the game. Another thing it allows you to do is that you toolbox for more Kagemusha and Kageki, so you can make more copies of Shien, and allows you to continue to make control over the field. So that is how the new 6-Sam deck works. Again, it's very, very different from the old thinking. It's completely new, completely revamped. So definitely consider this and just look through the card. It's very, very different. Even though they both call 6-Sam, it's almost like a brand new deck. So some weaknesses of the deck is this: the deck can stop spell and trap cards mainly because Xian's effect, but they're really weak against monsters, especially ones that's not destroy. Let's see, Gorse is a beat stick they can get out. So if they get a really big beat stick and you're not ready for it, they can really screw you over, make you waste resources. Dark Realm does destroy, so not too bad, but again, it's still a free beat stick and you just summon and wreck you over. The main threats are Monarchs, especially Caius, because they can just Caius you and Caius your Xian and you lose major advantage. You can also Caius your gateways and whatnot, so that really sucks. Also, not to mention, Ryza is kind of flipping Caius, but it's not too bad. Mainly Caius. Caius really hurts the deck quite immensely. Actually, anything that doesn't destroy cards and just simply do stuff to them like remove or flip or whatever, it really hurts the deck. So definitely monster that doesn't destroy and just monster effects. And not to mention, Kerosoric hurts the deck quite immensely. So in order to counteract these, it's essential to run Solemns. This is your answer to that, and this also should be a JD right there, but I kind of sold my JD, so JD is right there and Black Rose is right next to JD, so these cards gives me problems, and the only defense you have is Solemn Warning. That's why in Japan they run 2 to 3 copies of these, so definitely look into that. Solemn, Staple. So these is just your negation cards. So once you get your setup on to protect them against monster effect, you try to get these to your hand as soon as possible. Not to mention, in the traditional build, you go normal, special, and then you draw some cards or whatnot. You don't really gain mass advantage because just 1 or 2 stuns card here. As in the new one, you do gain mass advantage because the Xian and then the special summoning power. And what that means is that you have very Inferno OTK potential where you can just explode out of nowhere and either kill off your opponent immediately or take off huge chunk of life points and have unbreakable field because of Xian and your back rows. But in order to make that opening, you need key cards like Giant Trinade, most definitely. Trap Stun is another good one, and not to mention Trap Dash is really, really important because Dash allows me to see what's in my opponent's hand. If I found that he have no Fairy Wind or MSC or anything, then gives me the safety to know to push for game or whatnot. So key card of the deck right here, these 3, and it's so important to actually run a Ghost Search just to search those guys out. So that's that. Let's see what else. Yeah, so the Spirit, why I run a Spirit, because if you have a hand like this, we have a Kizan on a Smoke Signal or just the Grandmaster and a Smoke Signal, you can easily pull this guy out and just attack with it and gain mass advantage. So if I have this and have a Grandmaster, I equip this to Grandmaster and just run that thing over and gain mass advantage and draw. And not to mention, if I have double-edged sword technique, I have nothing else in the graveyard no Kakeki or whatnot, I flip it and I can equip this to one of these guys and just get a quick beat state again +1. So yeah, that is the idea of the deck, strength and weakness. Comments, questions below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.